So the 2020 stimulus bailout package has finally been approved and passed by the U.S. Senate and will today be passed by the House of Representatives, then quickly signed by the President of the United States. We have a copy of that bill for you. If you would like to take and read it for yourself, we will leave you a link below to it. Last night, in preparation for this video, I was reading through it, and I can tell you it is a riveting read. So go ahead and do that if you would like to. On this episode, we are going to share with you everything you need to know about this bill, including who's getting all of these payouts. And then the big question everyone has is, what about that direct deposit to the average U.S. citizen? Who's going to get that? How much is it going to be? When is it going to be paid out? Do I have to pay that money back? Also, we've had so many questions about Social Security and disability. What if I didn't file my taxes in 2018 and 2019? We will be answering all of those questions for you today on this video. We would also like to encourage you, if this is your first time with us and you have not subscribed to the channel yet, consider subscribing to the channel. We'd love to have you come along with us. So let's get right into it. Let's take a look at what is in this stimulus bill package. The first thing we see is the total cost of the bill was $2.2 trillion US dollars. A big bulk of it was $500 billion for the Treasury Department loans. Basically, the Treasury Department is becoming a big lender, and these loans are going to be given out. There's so many subsections to it on the bill. Again, if you want to read it for yourself, you can. But the airline industries, big corporations, banks, businesses, local governments, municipalities are included. The government has so much discretion with lending out this money. However, they do want the money back. So this is not free money given out to corporations, which is a good thing. Also, there is this $454 billion that is for a new lending agency. I put that in quotation marks because it's a little ambiguous on what this lending agency is, but it's in the bill. So there's about $1 trillion for the government to loan out to whomever they would like. There's also $350 billion for small businesses. Primarily, it's listed in the subsections as paycheck production. So basically, the government wants to use this money to ensure that businesses with 50 employees or less will continue to provide paychecks to their employees. Even when the economy has been slowing down and going through the pandemic itself, it continues to bolster up small businesses, which is a good thing. Then we see here $250 billion is for the direct deposit payment to the most of the U.S. citizens. That's in red because we're going to take a closer look at that on this episode and tell you guys exactly who's going to get that money. There's $250 billion to bolster unemployment. This was a big deal. This was worked on a lot. In fact, if you have to go on unemployment, you will receive $600 more per week for 4 weeks, which is a good thing. They've increased the length of unemployment during this time period, and they've also increased the unemployment insurance payment. So a lot of work was done on that. A lot of good work was done on that. There is also $100 billion for public health emergency funds. This is primarily for providers. Obviously, a lot of people are going to be getting health care during this time, and so they want to make sure that the providers have enough money to go around insurance providers and the such. There is $117 billion that is slated for hospital use. There is so much use for the hospitals in this as far as all the materials they need for their employees and on and on and on. So a lot of money going there. $150 billion is slated for the states and localities and local municipalities for those who need the money as well. There's a lot of subsections on how they can use this and stuff, but just know a bunch of it is going to the states. And finally, I put $30 billion in miscellaneous projects. These are the projects that the best way I can describe it is the stuff that has almost nothing to do with COVID-19. However, if you read the bill, they try to loosely tie these things to COVID-19. Like even when they're supporting things like the arts and stuff, they'll list it as loss due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but really it's not. It's also going to the Green New Deal stuff, and there's like food programs on it. So a lot of that is to non-COVID-19 stuff. And thankfully, it's only $30 billion. And I say thankfully, which is sort of weird, but I guess it could have been a lot more. So let's get into the thing everyone cares about, the $250 billion payout check for Americans. The first thing that's important to know is this is a one-time payout. Originally, it was slated to be a two-time payout. One was going to be in April and then another payout in May. It is now only a one payout. The main reason for this is half of the funding that was meant for this was taken and shifted over completely into unemployment. So I can understand that they wanted to put the money where it would most be needed. If you put the money here, a lot of people are going to get checks who don't really need them. So I can understand that move. If you get direct deposit from your taxes, when can you expect this money? In about 2 to 3 weeks. So the dates between April 9th and April 16th, this is all depending on when they actually sign this bill. If you get a check from your refunds, you can expect to wait about 4 months, although in the bill it says the last day of 2020 in December. This payout is going to be based on your 2018 or 2019 tax returns, so most people are going to fall into that category. However, this is where the first of the big questions comes in. What if I didn't file taxes? Can I still get a payment? The answer is yes. The reason being, and as I look and read through the bill myself and looking at the lawyers who are examining the bill and the senators who are talking about it, it comes down to this. If you are a U.S. citizen or a green card holder and you have a social security number and you earn less than $75,000, you will get a $1,200 payout. And that puts it into these different categories. Single filers making $75,000 less, $1,200 payout. Period. No less than $1,200. They're not doing that little tax finagling thing that I was talking about in my last video. I put a little exclamation point next to that because I thought they were going to work around that a little bit, and they did. They got rid of all of that finagling. It's just $1,200. If you're a joint filer making $150,000 or less, you will both get $1,200. Social Security, you will get a $1,200 payment if you get Social Security payments. And if you are on disability, you will also get a $1,200 payment. Well, what if I'm on Social Security or disability and I didn't file taxes? You will still get a $1,200 payment. This is, in fact, the way it reads. So I know I could say, well, we'll hold our breath and see if the government actually does it, but it does read that way. So I'm going to go with it. If you have a Social Security number and you made less than $75,000 and you're a U.S. citizen, you will get that money. There is also a $500 per child credit as well for everyone who has a child who's claimed as a dependent. Now, a big question a lot of people have is, do I actually have to pay this back? Because a lot of people are saying, well, yes, you're going to get this money now, but it's basically going to come off your returns from next year, or you're going to have to claim this as income, so it's not going to be as good as you think it is anyway. And the answer is no, you will not have to pay this back or claim this. The reason why is because it is written as a tax credit. And as such, it is not to be listed as income on the next tax year or deducted from your next tax year returns because of the way it's listed. Again, I don't even believe what I'm saying because I know our government. We've all seen how our government operates and we know what they're like. So it almost seems like this defies reality, but it's really the truth. And again, all the people that I'm seeing that are looking at this thing are finding it to be the same exact way. So I do not believe this is going to have to be listed on your next year taxes, which is a good thing. What if you earn more than $75,000? Well, you'll still get money from this up to $99,000. However, you're going to earn $5 less for every $100 you made over $75,000. And if you file jointly, it's the same thing. If you made over $150,000, you will still get money, but you're going to get $5 less for every $100. You will still, however, though, get the $500 per child tax credit. So I want to give this thing a grade. If I had to grade this bill, taking a look at the totality of everything that's on it and what it could have been and what it was, I think I'd give this thing a solid B. It could have been so much worse than this. But primarily, I'm okay with it because it's a big lending program. They're not just giving away money. The bulk of the money they're giving away is to U.S. citizens, unemployment, and hospitals. That's the bulk of giving away money. The other money is loans to the corporations, banks, businesses, those who have been hurt. That's all supposed to be paid back to the government. So I like all that stuff. I think that they improved the portion of unemployment a lot. I like that there's a $1,200 payment for everyone when it comes to if you make under $75,000, and they're not finagling the numbers when it comes to that. And so there's a lot about this I like, and there could have been a lot more of that slush fund money in there for all these people who don't really need it. You know what I mean? They only did $30 billion, so that could have been a lot worse, and thankfully it wasn't. So overall, it's a pretty good bill. I think it's going to stimulate the economy the way that it was meant to do, and it's going to be a big help to everyone. I don't think it's a solve-all. We're going to obviously need to figure out this pandemic issue. We're going to need to get some antiviral treatments. We're going to need to get a vaccination and get through the peak of this. That is really what's going to be necessary, but this is going to go a long way in helping the situation. I hope you found the information valuable. As always, again, if you have not subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you come along with us. As always, we will catch you guys next time.